Congressman James Lankford represents the Oklahoma district where Hobby Lobby is headquartered, and he's joining us now from Oklahoma City Live. Thanks very much for joining us, Congressman. You were a strong supporter of Hobby Lobby in this case from the beginning. In your opinion, what's the significance of today's ruling?
Yeah, this is a statement about religious freedoms. That's really what it is. Does the First Amendment still matter? Do you have freedom to be able to express your faith at home only, or can you also express that at work? And the whole challenge for them was, if you have a business, and as the Supreme Court ruled today, you're still an individual even within your business. These closely held companies are really family-owned businesses. Can they live out their faith practice of how they establish their business? For Hobby Lobby, they started literally in their garage with a set of principles that they still operate. Business, though it's very large now, they still function under those same set of values they started out with in their garage. The statement today was from the Supreme Court. You can still live out your faith principles even if you're a big business. It's not just a small business, but a large business can also do that as well.
Well, this is the issue you hear from critics of this ruling. They say that it allows employers to restrict their workers' health care decisions, and as a result of that, sets a disturbing precedent. I want you just for a moment to listen to what a representative of the Center for American Progress Fund said after this ruling. Have a listen.
What this ruling does is it moves in the direction this court has been moving already, which is talking about corporate personhood, really treating corporations like people, saying that the corporation has a religion itself and that should be imposed upon its employees.
How do you respond to that argument? Does it allow employers, in effect, to impose their religious beliefs on their employees? Because a lot of these companies, it's not just 6 people in the garage, it's thousands or tens of thousands of workers.
Sure, yeah, the statement the Supreme Court actually made today in their opinion was corporations are made up of people. And then to say that you have these mysterious entities, these businesses that operate, but there are really no people involved, begs the reality on the ground. Those corporations really have people that work in them. And the statement they made in their opinion was the Fourth Amendment. You can't just walk into a company and say, we want to search a corporation and go through everything, because that corporation is made up of individual people that are there. You have a Fourth Amendment protection to be secure in your houses, your papers, your persons, your effects. That applies whether you're at the office or whether you're at home or whether you're walking on the street. So does a freedom of faith. That you have the opportunity to be able to live out your faith, not just have a faith, but to actually practice that faith as well.
But the question is, what if you are an employee and your faith is different from the employer? I mean, corporations are people. Some of these are very big companies with thousands of people, presumably with very different religious views. What about the concern here that with a ruling like this, you know, the senior management may think one way, but that doesn't mean that their employers agree and should therefore be denied this kind of support, for instance, for contraceptives?
Well, I would say the court was very clear today on that as well. They said that no one's being denied their opportunity to be able to have contraceptives. This is not about contraceptives. That availability is still out there. There are both government locations to do this. The court put the burden back on the federal government to say if this is something they feel that they're compelled to do, there are other ways to do this that do not remove the religious freedoms from those individuals within those companies as well. So there are other avenues to do it that are less oppressive, basically, on that company, that actually accomplish the same purposes. The Supreme Court wasn't pushing away and saying you shouldn't have contraceptives. The Supreme Court was saying you can't take away someone's religious freedom so that someone else has access to this. There are other ways to do it that are least restrictive.
And you make a good point, because one result of this ruling is that not that people won't get the contraceptives, but actually the government will pay as opposed to the company in this case. Thanks very much to Representative James Lankford. He's joining us from Oklahoma City, a supporter of this decision. Coming up.